letting the cat out the bag. Period.
We also know that there are donors that I'm sure are going to be willing to make sure that they are investing and making sure that they can take down some of these candidates since they don't want to rule out dark money. I'm sure some dark money gonna pour in on the behalf of the American people.
See how she tried to clean that up real quick, y'all? Don't let that slide. She tried to clean that motherfucker up. But Jasmine know where the bodies are. She's always known where the bodies are. She's part of it. Let's go ahead and play this. And remember, if y'all not new to the program, shout out to our day ones. You know, we did that program waking up those oligarchs who were supporting that Democratic Party over there. Ari Emanuel, Barry, Christine Walton, the Walmart lady. It's a lot of that. That's all of the dark money that she's talking about. Soros, everybody knows about Soros. Okay? Let's go ahead and play that again.
Dark money. I'm sure some dark money gonna pour in on the behalf of the American people. So what I am saying is every tactic, as well as making sure we're touching people.
There's a saying, all money ain't good money. What happened to that? Huh? What happened to the all money ain't good money talk? Salute to the 50 plus in. Okay? Jasmine Crockett just said, listen, I'm going to get it wherever it come from. Okay? And as long as it fits our agenda, I don't care what. Listen, it can have bodies on it. If it helps what we're trying to do, we're going to take it and then quote unquote use it for the American people. Bullshit. Little bullshit help me out.
A bullshit?
Right. Okay? Let me see what Sister DW talking about. I can't focus. What she's saying. Right. Right. But again, y'all, remember, Jasmine Crockett was brought out, especially as soon as the Trump administration was announced the winner of this year, of this new campaign. She was out at least for about a couple months going crazy. Jasmine Crockett shot her ass down and put her on ice for a little bit after they shot. Figured out all that little system for a flash. Nobody wanted to hear all that. And then they dusted her off, and then she came back with a part down the middle of her head instead of the side of her head. Huh? She came back with a part down the middle of her head instead of the side of her head. They sat her the fuck down and reprogrammed her. They sat her down and reprogrammed her. Said, we gonna stop telling you all this shit. Okay? But you know what? We're gonna leave that right there, man. Dark money in the chat, family. Where do y'all think that dark money is coming from? When she says dark money, who do you think fits that demographic as far as supporting whatever agenda's coming out? Huh? I like to put a little name to the assumptions per se, so to speak. Salute to everybody that's in here right now, 50 plus. Shout out to our brother Kev for sending the first contribution of tonight's broadcast. We don't plan to be in here super late tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to wake up this Hulk Hogan thing and then go right into, hopefully your boy Obama is going to be seeing some jail time. Okay? Now, shout out to everybody that's in the building. Shout out to everybody. Actually, let me put some respect on Kev real quick for the contribution. Kev, I appreciate you, man. Salute for coming through. Thank you, brother Kev.
It's just pouring out. And if you stuck with antiquated information, so is your idea. And that's why you cannot pivot. That's the problem. But Dr. Randy Short, are you ready? Because I know you was on a call.
I've been ready.
Couple more minutes?
No, we can go. Yeah, we can go.
We got my brother. My brother from another mother. Who, by the way, I might have some ancestry connections. We still researching that. because the Hopkins family comes out of Rock Hill, Maryland. So shout out to the Hopkins crew that's on the chat. Can't wait to see everybody Saturday as we go to the birthday of my grandmother and enjoy this family reunion. But
anyway, make sure y'all bake a cake for Sister Keisha. It's her birthday today.
Yes, a white birthday.
Yeah, they got me covered. Trust me. My other Uncle Sonny. Shout out to Uncle Sonny on my mother's side. My mother's brother. My mother's baby brother. At that. Uncle Sonny said he rocking out with me for the whole summer. We rocking out together for the whole summer. Yeah, shout out to Uncle Sonny. But anyway, my brother from another mother has been on this for quite some time.
Yes.
And when I first brought Dr. Short to New York to speak at the United African Movement as a fundraiser for the Freedom Retreat for Boys and Girls, it was the Pan-Africanists who said, "Who the hell is this guy?" I'm like, "What? Where you been at?" That's what I want to know. So I pointed the brother to a documentary film that he had given commentary on. And he said, "Oh, okay. But like I said, here is a Black American brother with expertise and knowledge, because the UAM, whether they agree with your perspective or not, that wasn't the goal. That wasn't the issue. As long as you had information for the community, we let you come up in it and do your thing, physically." So when I talked to Dr. Randy Short and I said, "You got to come up to New York. We got to get you at the Freedom Retreat fundraiser. I want you to meet Miss Maddox," right? So we were down in D.C. anyway on a field trip, and we were at Tony Browder's Thurgood Marshall Center over there. And so Dr. Short came through to meet up everybody. So again, even in that Pan-African movement, there was a bit of a pushback. But because of my relationship with Mrs. Maddox, it wouldn't have been a problem for me to get him or anybody else that I wanted to speak with, because she trusted my work. And she trusted that my goal was to reinvigorate the UAM with the next generation. And so I worked very hard to do that. But it went beyond that with Dr. Short, and it became a friendship for real. He himself has faced some challenges, his mom as well. But recently, my husband himself faced some serious life-threatening health challenges. In fact, they brought him back to life twice in my home.
I'm about to talk.
You all don't know that, but that's what Sister Kay Fighter was going through behind the scenes. So
hold on. About to start.
As they admitted my husband and trying to bring him back to life, I received a text from Dr. Randy Short. And I don't often answer texts right away. It depends on where I am, who I'm around, and so on and so forth. But I immediately responded back to him, and I let him know what was going on. When I tell you this brother has been praying for me and my husband consistently, having prayer circles, that's my brother. And so any commentary or disrespect to Randy Short, you got a problem with me. Because he has given himself tirelessly to not only our movement, to Pan-Africanists, who now want to shut him out of the conversation, if you will. But they can't, because he got a force with him right now. So they can't. So without further ado, my brother from another mother, Dr. Randy Short, up on the Brooklyn Bridge.
I brought white Jesus with me. I hope no Pan-Africanists get mad. But they believe in him.
Don't be taking no shorts here.
No, but you know what? They like it more than I do. If you look at Yamoussoukro and the big white statue of Jesus in Nigeria, So I'm trying to reach out. I'm trying to be friends. See, I have a white Jesus so I can connect to my brothers and sisters back in Africa. Let them know I'm not so bad. Sister Keisha, I would just want to say to you, I texted you because I felt really bad. Something was wrong. And that's why I said, ask you, are you okay? I'm feeling really horrible. And I haven't heard from you. Something's wrong. So it's got to be wrong. And it's got to be really wrong. You haven't said anything to me, and it's wrong. So I reached out, and it says, are you okay? I hope you're safe. Something's making me feel bad. So I remember meeting you, saying, my God, this sister is like, she's like C4. She's black melanin ordnance. She could have taken down the World Trade Center with the lecture. They could have just left the planes on the ground, man. Maybe took a trip to Jamaica or something. So uh, thank you for adopting Sister Brooke. I'm hoping that you meet Big Mama Karen in Chicago and Big Mama Giselle in Baltimore. And we're going to put some people together. I want to say I was late getting to you this evening, because I was on the phone with Mother Mrs. J.I.O. Deli Langley. If you know anything about J.I.O. Langley, one of the fathers of scholastic Pan-Africanism, one of my mentors, we spent 2 hours with her trashing how Africans treat Black Americans. And I would love to introduce you to her because she's very proud of me. And it was her husband in particular, a Gambian Pan-Africanist, that told me that Black Americans were going to have to fight against tribalistic Africans that were not trying to build bridges, but were trying to take everything they could. Not This man was yelling at me saying, I see you doing all this stuff for Africans. Do you know that these people here are trying to undermine you? And he cut me off. No, they talk to me. They hate you. And he says, I'm angry. You guys helped us. All you did was support us, and they don't appreciate you. And so this is my teacher. And so you can Google, he's a professor at Howard, educated at Edinburgh University. He has a book, Ideologies of Black Power in Africa. He's a Pan-Africanist scholar, bar none. Okay, I was educated by Pan-Africanists, another one, Dr. Suleiman Yang, a relative of mine, because I know my family in Africa. Okay, and I got family in Brazil. Told me his fear was that Africans were going to destroy Black Americans. They're going to eliminate the Black identity. That was his fear. And one of the last times I saw him in his office before he had a major heart attack or stroke. These are two Black men from Gambia who looked them up, Suleiman Yang. These are real people. They were not haters of Africa. They weren't ashamed of anything, telling me as one of their favorite students, their concern for Black Americans. Okay, so then when people tell me, oh, nope. I know what it's like. My parents had African exchange students live with us from time I'm like 9, 10 years old. The African liberation meetings for Zimbabwe held in my house. The beginning of the boycott of Ugandan coffee to stop Idi Amin from killing people that were Christian and dissidents in Uganda was launched from my house. I launched the Stop the Genocide campaign in Darfur in 2004. Okay, and I can go on. So I've been doing work all along for people, Afro-Latins, as well, English-speaking, French-speaking, Portuguese-speaking, as well as on the African continent. Okay, I'm one of the few people that spoke up for Gaddafi when they started the slavery and the genocide in Libya. I've had several friends killed. But I'm a reciprocal Pan-Africanist. It's not unilateral that I love you and give to you and you give me the finger. Okay, there should be reciprocity. There is nothing. Pan means all. All means everybody's making a contribution. If you're just taking out of the pan, you're a thug, you're a scammer. And what I was saying to Sister Keisha, and I'm saying it to other people, is whether people like folks like me or not, October 1st is the beginning of Tethergeddon. You know, there's Armageddon in Revelation in the Bible where God comes down and destroys the enemies of Israel. Well, now the white supremacists are going to destroy the tethers that have been sucking our blood, not trying to be our brothers and sisters. Tethergeddon is here. They're going to change the visa status, all of that stuff. Now, understand me. I know what it's like to even to fight for people to get asylum from Mauritania, from Sudan, and from other countries. So it's not like I don't have some interest and concern about Africa, the Caribbean. Again, my PhD is in African studies. And so, you know, and have friends. In fact, as recently as a week ago, I'm sitting across the table from a gentleman who ran for president of Gabon, who's asked me to help set up an educational module for people in Gabon for them to know about Black American history. Because I've made it clear we can't work with you if you don't know who we are and what we've been through. And so, right, if I were to show you my WhatsApp, I've been getting calls from Africa all day. So there's not a day in my life I'm not engaged with someone on the African continent. However, I live in this country. This is where we are. Do I worship the government? No. Do I like American warfare in Palestine or Congo or any place? The answer is no. Unlike the four of you that are here, I'm on the list of the government as a terrorist. I've talked to Sister Keisha about being a terrorist. For advocating for Africa, I'm recognized as a terrorist, persona non grata, by this government for speaking out against people, the CIA making Ebola a bioweapon to mass murder Black people. So when I say things to you like I should have gotten an award letter for my Social Security benefits or I'd be discharged of my student loans, I don't have it. If I told you, like, for me to renew my health insurance, someone decided to lock me out of the system here in DC, and I'm having to lobby to make certain I can get health insurance. These things just sort of happen. All your cash apps get taken, your bank gets hacked. A lot of this is over involvement on the African continent, speaking out in favor of President Nkurunziza that they killed in Burundi. The man who got assassinated in Tanzania over COVID, they remembered the show I did in 2014 that basically caused the U.S. to stop doing its Ebola work, to kill people in Africa, to militarize the continent. I've paid. So I don't really care. I don't give a damn about what people think. Some of us have paid. Even the brother from Gabon had heard about the broadcast and says, well, you're looking at the nigga that said it. The reason people stopped dying. Okay. and when the FBI tried to shake me, I sent it to you, Sister Keisha, and they want me to inform on people. And what part of F you did he not get? I'm not a snitch. I'm not a tough person, but you can't buy me. I don't want to be for sale. I will not betray Black people. I don't want your money. Hell, I got to see the doctor. I may have internal bleeding for ulcers. What, I got stage 4 cancer, stage 1 cancer. Killing me may be doing me a damn favor. So I'm not afraid of anything, right? Had the life heart attack. They gave me blood that should have killed me. They were trying to steal my organs. So, you know, I'm no tough guy, but if you kill me, you kill me. But I'll never kiss your ass. I want my motherfucking money. I want reparations. I want freedom. I want justice. I hate eugenics. I hate the exploitation of those of us that are descendants of the original people of this country. At one point, Africa was the whole world until the continents drifted. So at one point, this was Africa. So those people who are of African descent in the Americas, of which I'm of the Cherokee Nation, the Piscataway Nation, the Creek Nation, the Blackfeet Nation, the Powhatan Nation, but I'm also Kimbundu, Hausa, Fulani. I claim all of it, right? I want us to get every frigging penny that we're owed. And it is like this brother said, they've got money for everything. If you got money for dirty Netanyahu, you got it for me too. You got it for all of us. And the same me that's denouncing Netanyahu on your show, I've done it everywhere else. I've made enemies. I'm registered as a Republican. The folks are terrified of people like me because I'll tell them, yep, Frederick Douglass was for reparations. Everybody black with common sense. It's come out that Dr. King wanted billions and billions of dollars.
Hold on 1 second, Dr. Short. My husband just want to say hi to you.
Oh.
Yeah, he did.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. Praying for you, man.
Thanks.
Praying for you. I spent a whole day, and I'll just say to you what I said to Keisha. I said, God, this is a good man. This is a man that loves his wife. He ain't cheating. Got a side piece. He doesn't have a side sissy. He's not a pedophile. He doesn't cheat. He doesn't beat. He doesn't lie. He just loves on his activistic, hell-raising Harriet Tubman on steroids wife. He's a good father. He's a good grandfather. He's a community pillar. I said, God, I can give you a list of Negroes I wouldn't mind seeing you kill. Start with Obama. Please get his ass. Take him and let Mr. Forrester, please. I mean, I'm not, I've asked you to off some people, God. I mean, I could give you like 100 names. Just leave him. I said, Sister Keisha's work is so important. If he goes down, she goes down, the whole committee, we can't lose him. Spare this one. I don't ask you for, I'm not even asking for you to take all my cancer away, but because I'm doing good for stage 4. Don't I look good?
Yes.
I look good. And then the doctor see me at the hospital, and the doctor said, you should be dead. It says, well, you're not God, right? That's at the little Pakistani, right? That's why I don't eat at the restaurant. Then 2, saw the doctor this week, and all of y'all that know anybody with cancer, tell them dandelion root, CoQ10, pine bark. We can have a conversation. You don't have to die when these people tell you something. And I just told a little Jewish doctor or whatever, said, I can't do nothing sticking me in my behind. I just kill me. Tell me where to stand. You got some off in your family. Tell me in the Messiah, come and shoot me. But you're not going to stick me in my behind every month. I said, this sounds like a jacked up relationship that I pay you and every month you stick me in the behind when you want to. That sounds.
You know about beetroot?
I got beetroot. Look, I have everything except Obama's genuine woman that he loves within my house. Because I don't think he's ever loved anybody, man. That's a wicked man. You got to meet Big Mama, who will tell you that Obama was a crackhead queen back in Chicago. I've been telling you about him. I've been telling people, Ofagagate's no good. And I feel especially good, the little nasty communists that happen to be GCP. You know what that means, Sister Keisha. The one that got me kicked out of the Green Party for calling Obama Ofaga on the Roland Martin show.
Oh, Lord.
His memorial service is August 3rd. You know I'm not going. And by the way, his name means black men in Yiddish. I'm still not going.
Hold on, Dr. Shaw. I just want him to go lay down. I don't want him to stand up here.
No. You take care of him. So people, nice to see you. People, we got to come together. And it is not the idea of a unified black people globally that anybody has a problem with. What we have is people who think building a bridge of unity, coming out of people's tribalism and so forth, is a bridge too far. Okay, when you look at blacks in Britain, they aren't making the kind of progress that they could make. Why? Because they fight amongst themselves. They don't see each other as black. They see, I'm from St. Vincent, I'm from Antigua, I'm from Montserrat, I'm from Jamaica, I'm from Guyana, right? I'm from Barbuda, I'm from Bermuda, I'm from Canada, I'm from Kenya. And nobody said, hey, we're all black. The cops are killing them by the hundreds. Beatings, stabbings, and they're too tribal to be a force to demand respect. Look at how a handful of Muslims have the white folks in London and in England trembling, and yet there are millions of people there that are black, but they can't come together. Or I'm a black Briton. My mother's white, my father's a Nigerian, or I'm a Windrush person and I'm biracial. This tribalism, as jacked up as the black American is, and man, we're more screwed than Kamala Harris at a keg party. And I was around, and she was a hoe. She was a hoe at Howard. She was a Captain sweetheart. She's a hoe. She wore that bunny with pride. And she probably could hop more than a Playboy bunny. So I'm saying to you, we are unique because we don't have tribalism. We got a little north and south. We got some colorism. But you know what? We don't have tribalism where we mass kill each other over region or dialect. And that is unique among all the people in the so-called black world. And do you know, instead of people seeing that as a blessing, the other people see us as suckers because we identify with them based on how they look, or they see it as a weakness. They don't say, hey, I can come to America and I can be accepted and belong. No questions asked. If you don't act against the community and you're cool, we can love you. There'll be somebody here that will like you, that will take you in. That ain't so all over the world. That ain't so. You can go certain places, as the brother was saying. I would tell anybody, I was at the house of the ambassador of Ghana before they did their year of return thing. And he let me know, and I got witnesses that the ambassador of Ghana said he didn't think the year of return would mean anything. And in reality, it was a resource grab from black Americans to bail out Ghana.
Say that again, Dr. Short. Say that one more time.
The year of return was a resource grab and a bailout for Ghana. Black Americans saved the economy of Ghana and have been keeping it up, whether we're aware of it or not. In fact, the presence of black Americans has put enough cash in the Ghanaian economy that they didn't have to crack open their behinds and support LGBTQ being pushed by the Biden administration for 4 important years. Okay.
Check this out. Now, you said what you just said.
Yes, I said what I said. I stand by what I was at his house in Potomac, Maryland. I was there. He told me we were eating some chicken with no seasoning on it. I'll never forget. And they even had African servants with Scottish kilts on, not kente cloth, but clothes from Scotland. It blew my mind. I said, that's okay. Let me hold my white Jesus support squeeze tool. Help me, white Jesus. Help me. Help.
Oh, Dr. Short, it's so funny you say that, because that was a question I was going to pose on another platform. How many people went to the year of return? And just like you said, it was a money grab.
It was a money grab. Yes. Yeah. It's a money grab.
I had a group.
They don't.
I saw all the prices go up.
Yeah.
From the year prior. I went out there 2016, 17, 18, and 19. And the prices went through the roof for 2019.
Do you know that the Ghanaians are complaining?
here. It says it right here.
The Ghanaians are complaining.
Hold on 1 second, Dr. Joe. I just want to read this real quick. The purpose of the sixth region is to bridge the gap between Africa and its global diaspora, promote cultural, economic, and political cooperation, support the development, of the continent by using what? Diaspora skills, capital, and influence.
Okay. You know what? There's a phoniness to that because I asked the ambassador, is there any way for the year of return stuff to be shown here for the people that can't afford or would be a hardship to go to Ghana to see it, like in a public library for people to see it, or it could be streamed? They made no provisions for that to be shared with the Black American grassroots. Wasn't something they cared about or thought about. And I said, so could there be something long lasting that at least benefited the people there? The ambassador's wife told me something, that Ghana is basically the health center for many countries in West Africa. And that's when she dropped the bomb that Ghana had only 16 respirators for babies. 16. A country of at least 30 million people in Ghana. Somebody pull it up. Let me get my phone and check. I know Ghana's got to have close to 30 million people. And they've got,
it's 30.
It's 30?
It's 30.
Good. Forgive me. I don't like bad. I like when I say something to you, you can come and check me. And you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to give bad. There are 30 million people in Ghana. They have 16 respirators. The average hospital in this country probably has 20 or more, which means Ghana has fewer respirators in their hospital and in their country than a decent-sized hospital in this country. So I said, well, would you like us to help raise money or get donations of respirators to Ghana? And the wife told me, and this was interesting, you can do whatever you want to help us, but we can't put anything in writing or official. So in other words, we don't want you broke Black Americans. We don't want to be connected to you, even though we would take the respirators. We wouldn't write a letter of support for you to ask on our behalf. Get that. You see, a lot of Black Americans have this obsession with kings and queens, and I would highly recommend that you start taking time to really look at what happens with kings and queens. As I talked to Sister Keisha about lineage, and much to my surprise, if I've done the lineage research right, I come from multiple lines of kings and queens. I supposedly have a king in my family who had a hot poker put up his ass because he was gay. What kings and queens aren't necessarily what we need. We've dealt with the lack of freedom, democracy, and choice with white people for 500 years. And it was African kings and queens that could cut deals with white people to sell our asses, and also Indian kings and queens that could sell Indians to white folks. This happened here too. Oh, kings and queens have been the cause of our downfall. Instead, we need a Black, independent, self-reliant people's yeomanry where we're together and all of us are strong. All of us are doing well, and not a small percentage. This boule, these traitor Black Greeks and degenerates in the secret societies that misrule us, who steal 90% of the Black income and undermine us, whether it's your mayor or Gayor, as I have. We have a Gayor, and I think LA has a Gayor. Have you ever noticed that Karen Bass, she looks like the Jewish actor Edward G. Robinson?
Yep.
She does. She looks just like him.
Yep. And every time I look at her, she just looks evil.
She is evil. I want to say to you, first of all, she's not foundational Black American. She's Afro Latina, and she was married to a dude that looked like the old El Paso guy without the sombrero. So she's a swirl. She doesn't dig us. And I also think because she's a Delta, as I say, Delta coat hanger, because they're for abortion and LGBTQ. Sure they are. They're twisted. Some hard, bad-looking sisters. Yes, I'm talking about y'all. In fact, you know what? Y'all could end the war in Gaza. Just parachute some of the worst-looking ones over there. Hamas would throw down their arms and shit. They'd be ready. Just get these holes out of here. We'll surrender. We'll come out of the tunnels. Just get back. These Greeks
that, brother, because we get a lot of pushback. People get mad because we call them tethers, but you are.
They hold on. You know what? Wait. I'm gonna tell you what they called us at Howard. What the Caribbeans called us in their Caribbean Student Association called Black Americans Yankee niggers. I never heard a collective negative ascription to either Africans and or Caribbeans the entire time I've gone to Howard twice. 9 years one time, 4 years the other. So in 13 years at Howard, most of the hatred that I ever heard was directed towards Black Americans by Black foreigners. And by the way, the worst of the worst, Jamaicans. And I stand by that Yankee nigger, okay? And Akata and all this other stuff I've learned. The Ethiopians call you Barbari or Baria, which means barbarian. We do not describe, when you get in a house of Black Americans privately, do not use this kind of language to talk about Africans or Caribbeans. They would openly do this, openly. Right, and with no shame. And so, and I don't care about the pushback. They can kiss my ass, because in reality, they in fact, they're not even nice to people who came from the Caribbean that are in England. When they come back, act like they're not their brothers and sisters. And the thing that's most disgusting.
That's what King Simon said. He said, my own family in Jamaica called me a foreigner because I was born in New York.
Tribalistic, and they're not making an effort to be connected. This is what we're responding to, looking for a reason to be divided. That is the essence of self-hatred and slave-mindedness, with some jerk chicken, maybe some half overpriced Caribbean food, with the nasty tribalistic attitude that's disgusting, it's ugly, it's repugnant, and it's hypocritical. Because if you knew your own damn history, when the British were punishing the American patriots, they took tens of thousands of people from the American South and put them in Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana. In fact, even the Dominicans, there's a place called Samara. At least 10% or more of all Dominicans have great Black American grandparents. And the same is so for Jamaicans and others. We're your damn cousins, and you hate us more than the British who fuck you, and the Lebanese and the Syrians and the Jews and the Chinese who treat you like shit on your own island. And you hate us here. That's psychotic. In fact, if tether's the worst that we can do, you should be thankful. Because in Canada, when I see a lot of murders going on in Toronto, I have a good idea which ethnic groups are doing it. When you hear about a lot of stabbing and killing in London, you have a good idea who's doing it. When you hear about it in Bronx, you have a good idea who's doing it, because it's a culture of self-hatred and extreme violence that goes through elements of various communities in the Caribbean. We have some sorry Black American criminals who get a lot of attention, but these days, a lot of the people committing murder, rape, beheading someone, a Jamaican dude in Staten Island, threw a baby in a trash chute within the last day. You see if he's not Jamaican, he's Caribbean. You see, they will never tell you. It's interesting when someone accomplishes something as an African, Caribbean, or Afro-Latino, they start waving flags or differentiating and delineating them from Black Americans. But if they rape, if they murder, if they sell drugs, if they're in prison, if they have AIDS, they're grouped into our community, and they don't dare say no. Don't blame that on the Black Americans. When that Trinidadian man from up in your New York came down here and shot one of the church sisters that I knew at the Navy Yard, Aaron Alexis, he's Trinidadian. When these foreign Blacks commit murders, like the one that shot all the people in the subway car in 22, when it's one of them, they cover it up. When Colin Ferguson shoots people on the Long Island Railroad, they put him out as a Black American, not as a Jamaican. But let him get a Nobel Prize or publish a book. They'll be quick to differentiate him from us. And so the Caribbeans play a dirty double game. Own your thugs, your crooks, your whores, the nasty twerking, the filthy rappers that come from your community that have destroyed an art form we made, that you say you made, which is a damn lie. You've perverted.
Charlie.
And then what? You get mad if we say we exist. You know, I had a Jamaican dude at the McDonald's in my neighborhood tell me, you don't have a country. I didn't know it. Just talked. I mean, what? You don't know me to say you don't belong in anywhere. And you know, they told him, you're right. That's why I'm voting for Donald Trump. His ass ran out of the McDonald's. Okay? Because in reality, and I heard this from the mouth of filmmaker Javi Garima, the movie Sankofa. I had the opportunity to sit in on a meeting of Ethiopians in Howard University School of Communications. And these guys are saying, it's so good that Black Americans don't have a strong identity. Man, if these people were really united, it would be really hard for us here. Because they don't have a strong identity, a lot of things are open to us. If they ever came together, it would be more difficult on us. Why? Because when we fight for it, white people give it to gays, they give it to foreigners, they give it to illegals, they give it to transsexuals. Man, they'll give it to the man on the moon when we fought for it, or they give it to white women. When we start consolidating and coming together and saying, this is my pie, not yours, as I had to tell a Jamaican who's in my house, eating my food, and proceeds to call Black Americans lazy and stingy, and you're eating my fucking curry chicken. And I told him, nigga, put that chicken back in my pot. This is what you mean. Well, I'm a Black American. I'm lazy and stingy, and I don't have enough energy to fix more chicken. So I've already fixed that. Take your plate and just pour it back in the pot and get the fuck out of my room. Okay, I can't imagine going into anyone's home and insulting their group collectively with a straight face with no conscience. And it's called the ugly American. They do exist. But you know what? There are a lot of ugly Caribbeans and a lot of ugly Africans that have destroyed the love and the respect that once existed. Y'all killed it, not us. We got tired of you stabbing the Black baby in the crib that loved everybody. And that's why this has happened. You did it. And everywhere you guys go, in Australia, you're not unified. In New Zealand, you're not unified. In Canada, you're not unified. In Mexico, you're not unified. You're not unified in Panama. You're not unified in Ecuador. You're not unified in Brazil. The only place you can come together is where Black folks take the hell and the abuse, and you guys make backdoor deals with those people who hate us. And we take all the punishment and you get the reward. And now we see your game. That is what's happening now. It is not a hatred. It's not hating where you're from. It isn't where the hell you're from. It's how your ass acts when you get here. Act like family.
You're in my house. As Taz says, you are in my house now.
Look, be a good guest. There's not one country I've visited in the world that I'm not invited back. I'm not trying to screw your woman. I'm not trying to mess with your kids. I'm not trying to get high. I don't have to be in a tourist section. I don't have to be in an elite hotel. I want to learn about you, sit down with you. If you eat on the floor, I'm going to eat on the floor too. I respect you. I want to be respected back. I mean, excuse me. Being called banana boat people, well, people did come on United Fruit Boat. It's a damn banana boat. That's true. Africans talk about them being plain people and us being boat people. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Banana boat. You're going to beef about that booty scratches and the shower posse and Caribbean gangs have killed tens of thousands of people in this country. Not a few hundred, have murdered people in the thousands over the decades. And nobody's come for you collectively and some talk bothers you. Bullshit. Grow some nuts. You got nuts to gigolo on the beach. Have some nuts when someone cracks a joke. It's our damn culture. You're in my country. We tell jokes. We don't chop people with machetes and kill people over everything said. Like all these stabbings that are happening in the Bronx. Someone says something, I've got to kill you. Hell, learn how to debate. Damn.
King Simon gonna have you on one of his programs, Dr. Short.
Say what?
He gonna have you on one of his programs to keep it up.
No, well, no. All I'm going to say is this: I didn't say I hated anybody. When I tell you I was raised partially by a Jamaican woman named Agnes Campbell, who was brought to the United States because her uncle serially raped her, and her daughter was like an aunt to me. The Jamaicans we knew were cool. The Jamaicans that we knew were doctors, were educated, were cool. Then the gangsters came. The fraudsters came. The killers came. So in reality, it's interesting. Banana boat, given all the people shot and killed, one Black American man killed one Ethiopian woman. I think it's horrible. Ethiopians have typecasted all Black folks in the DC area as no good. One killing. The shower posse and them have killed thousands in other gangs, have killed all over the country. And yet the image of people from the islands isn't a killer, which says what? Overall, Black folk still, even though Bob Marley's shit isn't as good as Stevie Wonder, we like them. Some Jamaicans are cool. A lot of Jamaicans pride themselves on being difficult. That's known in Canada too. The British law enforcement began carrying guns in the 90s because of the Yardie Jamaicans. They were known for being so violent that a custom of not having firearms was changed for all of the United Kingdom. That says something. White folk here, the police always had guns to kill Black folks. But where there wasn't slavery in England, they needed guns for the violent Jamaican gangs. Look it up. Not my opinion. I was wondering, I thought Bobby's, between the time I started going to England, when did they start having automatic weapons and shit? And I researched, it's the gangs. All the killings, stabbings, motorcycle stuff, and that's with no Black Americans to blame. Just look at the UK and how the folks are fighting. And by the way, the police killed large numbers of Blacks get killed in London and other places. and it's barely dealt with. I met Steve Lawrence's mother in 2001 in South Africa. Jamaicans aren't fighting in England. Y'all weren't fighting this last year when the white gangs were going around hunting people. You guys fight well on your island, and y'all fight us. I don't see Jamaicans fighting white supremacy. Not in America.
As a matter of fact, they don't.
They don't.
But hold on. As a matter of fact, Jamaica has capitulated to China. The city, which is Kingston, Jamaica, that's like our midtown. In the heart of the business district is a huge church that takes up an entire block. Know who that church belongs to? The Chinese. In Chinese writing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like Garvey said, we have a race consciousness like no other. That's why he came here. He said that Black Americans were the peer of all Negroes. He said that. He messed up, like I said, when he deviated and thought he was better than. That's where he fell off.
And he not only deviated, the Black folks down in the South where you could get lynched for being a Garveyite couldn't get any help. They took our money, but they didn't want us. Okay? My family's in D.C. in part because my great-grandfather was a Garveyite and had to get out of Washington, Georgia. Had to get his family out. My grandmother had to move here. The UNIA wasn't there for the people down south. They took the money and they stayed up in the big cities where there were numbers. And by the way, could talk to the Ku Klux Klan, but wouldn't even come and see about the brothers and sisters on the front lines. Good enough to spend our money, good enough to use our solidarity, but not good enough to even come see about us or even write letters of support. You could even meet with white eugenicists that didn't even want us to exist. Marcus Garvey. And when he went back to Jamaica, as much crap as people talk, the people in Jamaica stoned him. Marcus Garvey was never stoned by Black Americans. Marcus Garvey got set up by the British government, the French government, the American government, and people in the Boule, who, by the way, in America, many members of the Boule are Caribbean. The Boule is internationalist. They always welcome in Africans and Caribbeans as long as you don't care about the Black American grassroots. The Jamaicans need to repent. And so Tethergeddon is coming.
Hold on, he put this up. Yeah, Tethergeddon. We're going to get into that. You're going to go right in after this. But I want to address this because he said the politicians sold out Jamaica. Absolutely right. But they are Black people. So again, as Black people in a Black country, as a Black nation,
99% Black. Damn. Right. And no control. Shit. And they so fight again, and they're fighters, Keisha. He said they're fighters. And the politicians serve the people.
Instead of dealing with the politics and dealing with those who sold out the country, that was a little bit too hard. So you deviated and went to another land, or your family deviated and went to another land because they didn't want to deal with the muck and mire of what was going on in Jamaica. Still to this day, although they say they are developing, growing, and moving forward, where is the influx of people going back home?
Okay.
There isn't any.
There is.
Because, like Garvey said, our race consciousness is what makes us the fighters that we are. And unfortunately, y'all ain't got that.
They ain't fighting. And in fact, did you see how light-skinned this new prime minister? How come all the prime ministers are light-skinned in Jamaica? I mean, they're browns and they're not even Black. They take colorism, huh?
They usually have breeds.
My point is they're browns. They're not even Black Jamaicans. They don't even identify with those people. And by the way, let's go back to when we were younger, Sister Keisha. Remember how Michael Manley, who was light-skinned, was up against Sayaga, who wasn't even born in Jamaica, and you had two near white men and you had thousands of dead Black Jamaicans killing each other over a choice of which half-breed person, and Sayaga won. And by the way, the trade-off to them is, we're not going to develop Jamaica, but you know what? We'll let you sell drugs and kill Black Americans. That's the payoff to the Jamaican masses. We'll let you come and fuck our people. The same way they let the Mexicans, the government of Mexico won't take care of its people. And there's a gentleman's agreement between Mexico and the United States. Screw the Black Americans. The agreement with Korea, screw the Black Americans. And it's amazing. When I was in the hospital with my mother back in March, there's a nurse, I'm forgetting her name, but I have her picture. She was very nasty to me when I was in the hospital this month last year. And she claimed she couldn't find veins, and she wasn't nice to me. She was mean, gave me bad IVs. And she heard me talking to someone about Jamaican politics, a brother I know from the Bronx, South Bronx. And then she asked me, what are you? And I said, what difference does it make? Well, what are you? I says, I'm an American. She says, well, what are your family? They're American too. And so are my grandparents. Says, and I asked her, why do I have to be from your country for you to treat me properly as a patient? And I asked her, what war has happened and bloodshed between Black Americans and Jamaicans that you have to be so nasty to me without a cause? I don't keep you from selling your pineapple or produce. I didn't create CARICOM. The white people whose asses you suck and kiss did that. Why kick me? She got quiet. She's not going to admit. So in reality, these people are bullies. So someone saying banana boat, or somebody saying that, by the way, there are a whole bunch of Black people that come to this country that don't get those names. Black Brazilians don't have a pejorative term in this country. Blacks from Panama don't necessarily have a pejorative name in this country. Even though there's differences, Black from Haiti don't have a pejorative name in this country. It's specific people. Bahamian Blacks don't have a pejorative name in this country. It's people who come with a nasty attitude. Okay, Blacks from Guyana, and a lot of Blacks from Guyana hate the hell out of Black Americans, don't have a negative name. Black Tobagans and Trinidadians don't have a negative name. Some people do. It's because how some people have acted. We're not Black Americans, unlike Jamaicans. They were discriminated against at one of those hotels, couldn't go to the beach, and they burnt the Chinese hotel down. You know, by the way, I was happy the Jamaicans did something, but you'll rarely see Black Americans collectively attack another group of people unless they've been attacked collectively. They don't do it. So an individual may have said something to you. Maybe you're in a bad neighborhood where folks are fighting and gangbanging, but that's not us collectively. In fact, what I find certain people from the islands and other places do is they find one experience or experiences negative in a particular circumstance and apply it. It's convenient to say to white people, they don't like me either. I had problems at school with them, and blame us collectively for what happened bad to them wherever they were. I've been assaulted by people from the Caribbean for reaching out to them at Howard publicly, like assaulted for trying to help out. I don't think all of those folks are bad, but I will acknowledge that there's a problem, and that it is a collective problem, and it is global. And instead of getting all caught up in your feelings, fucking change. Make the adjustment. Not just when you want something and you change your accent to blend in to access something. Change your damn attitude and culture so you can blend. You know what? There are Black American communities in Brazil, and Ghana, and Tanzania, and Denmark, and France, and England, and South Africa, Australia, all Panama, Costa Rica, you won't hear about them typically because they blend. They don't go in and try to be better than they come in, I'm a guest in your house, I'm going to be a good person. This is something that other people have refused to do. I see myself as a Black American. I'm responsible for representing my God, my family, and my ethnic group wherever I go. So people will say, you know what? I heard all this shit about Black Americans. I met Mr. Short, and I was confused. I was prepared for something else, and now I have to reconsider. I've had this happen other places I've gone. We were told, I was in Ghana, they want me to screw this woman that worked in this baby clothes place. I tell them, I'm not screwing her. I says, why not? I'm not married to her. They were all shocked. You're American, you want to screw someone? I said, she's nice looking, but she's not mine. I mean, I haven't met her family. What's that look like? And I was staying in a place called the Assurance Hotel, a cheap hotel. And the card for the hotel was ass hot. What's on the card? And I'm like, you know, I'm not coming to your country to act like this. People come and they put on their worst. They do their worst. They're engaged in human trafficking and drugs and scamming and killing. They do their worst. And then you run around and wave your flag and draw attention to your nationality and then tell us not to notice. Let me tell you something. Dumb and a dumb fuck Black American is somebody running around another country waving the American flag. I've been all over the world. I've never seen a Black American wave an American flag anywhere but in the United States. Out of respect for the fact that the United States is a wicked country in terms of how it deals with people internationally. I wouldn't want to insult someone who's been victimized by the United States Armed Forces or the IMF World Bank. I don't want to do that. I am an American national by conquest. And so I deal with it the same way all of us are who we are through conquest. But I would never run out somewhere and be waving a flag in somebody's face in another country. I would consider it out of my place. It's the same way I wouldn't try to do a Christian prayer or eat a pulled pork sandwich in a mosque. Muslims don't eat pork. They're not Christians. Sit your ass down and let them do salat until they're finished. The problem here is a respect problem. And the problem is folks respect white people and hate the people that made white people great. However, Tethergeddon is coming. And Tethergeddon, like you heard about that Jamaican dude that had been here 30 some odd years, they're deporting him and they're deporting his mom. I've met people who would boast, I'm never going to get American citizenship. Fuck America. I hate this country. They've been here 40 years. Grandchildren, everybody's here and you hate America so much. I mean, why don't you leave? I mean, I get it. I know people, I have friends, they're Black Americans, they have left. Fuck America. They're in Ghana, they're in Brazil, they're in Japan. They've left. You hate America, but you won't leave. You love the other country so much, but you won't go back. Somebody's lying. In fact, let me give you my joke, my Nigerian joke for a poor Nigerian. Do you know how many bathrooms, how you can tell how many bathrooms you have in a Nigerian house?
How many you have?
By the number of windows. It's not everybody in Nigeria. The rich Nigerians, but some Nigerians are so poor. Yes, they piss and shit out the window. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. The little community on stilts in Lagos. Yes, they do shit out the window, piss out the window. Yes, they do. A window is a bathroom. People don't want to go back to that when they've had better. If you go to Africa and people buy the base of the toilet, but they don't get the seat. And I mean, my asshole couldn't get used to the ceramic. I mean, it just blew my mind. And, an ass flies.
Robbie, he didn't leave either. Until he was deported.
Yes, he didn't leave until he was deported. And then he went to England and died there. Hated. He was, see, because I'm not trying to make these places, I'm not putting them down. I'm saying that there are benefits to what the development through the super exploitation of the global South and our labor has built up other countries. If you get used to a standard of living, you may not want to go back to home where you may have friends and family, but you need your own generator, right? You need a filter. You can get hepatitis drinking the tap water in Rio de Janeiro. Not that the tap water is great in America anymore. Do you get where I'm coming from? These things are real. People get sick. First time I went to Senegal, I got dysentery. There was some shit in the water. I was in Howard Beach, Sister Keisha. I was in a Holiday Inn in Howard Beach, praying to God to get me out of there and not get killed by the Italians, because I had diarrhea from bad tap water, bad water from Senegal. It jacked me up. It felt like I had the Super Bowl going on in my guts.
Yeah, you can't drink that water abroad.
No, you can't. Things like the water can kill you. If you've ever gotten malaria in Nigeria, that shit can knock you out in like 15 minutes. I went into a thing where I thought I was in the movie Psycho from being bit by a mosquito. I mean, and they got the stuff can kill you. You don't have to deal with some of that here. And so for the America that Black Americans made and the laws and things that we've helped fight for has made America a place that people could seek refuge and sanctuary. And they owe us a thanks, whether you want to get it or not. And the nerve to want to hook up with the very people that didn't even want their black and brown asses here, to see them as their best friends and work with them to undermine us who fought for their sorry asses to be here, is a betrayal. And you know what? People who are Christians love Jesus. And you know what? It's an unspoken truth, but we hate Judas. Nobody likes a traitor. If the worst you get called is a tether or a banana boat or a booty scratcher, and people do scratch your booty when you come from a place where there's no toilet paper, where people use leaves. In fact, let me tell one more story, Sister Keisha. Hold on, one more, please. I'll go fast. I was in Uyo, Nigeria. I went to a government building because we were working on getting our air flight to fly back to Calabar, then Port Harcourt to go to Lagos, right? And I needed to use the restroom. And I asked the person, where's the men's room? And they pointed, it's down the hall. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and there was no bathroom, but there was a door, like the door of no return, at the end of the government building. And down the steps, so there's this huge African grass, like they'd never seen a lawnmower. I'm talking about grass like almost 15 feet tall. And that was the bathroom. And the people would go out, I'm talking about a government building, and shit and piss in the grass. And I followed a woman out, and this sister who had a really long navy blue dress on that was pleated with black shoes on, she went out there to piss. And I'm not joking. This woman could direct her stream. I've never seen a woman that could piss almost like a man. I mean, she sent that thing straight down like the beam coming off the Enterprise on Star Trek. And she didn't get a speck of piss on her shoes. And once she was through pissing, she didn't wash her hands. She clicked her heels and went back in the building. They sometimes don't even have bathrooms. And I mean, no toilet paper, no hand sanitizer. So you might just pick your booty if you had to shit and there was no toilet paper unless you used some grass.
True indeed, brother. True indeed. We came to the end of our program, but I want to read this quote from Dr. Martin Luther King. Because we all love King, but I have never heard anyone say this quote. He said, "We know nothing about Africa. Although our roots are there in terms of our forebearers, But I mean, as far as the average Negro today, he knows nothing about Africa. And I think he's got to face the fact that he's an American. His culture is basically American. And one becomes adjusted to this when he realizes what it is and what he is. That is from Dr. King. A quote that no one ever talks about or I've ever heard.
I've heard it.
Dr. Claude Anderson brilliantly reminded us of what it is that we were going to face in the early 2000s. He repeatedly said that we were going to face backlash from all these other groups, but we will focus on history and not the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Claude Anderson warned us. He saw it coming. The global pile-on, the erasure of FBA lineage, the freeloading off of FBA victims. So I was saying, delineation is not hate, it's survival. Mm-hmm. We are not the diaspora. We are not Pan-African. We are not a Pan-African umbrella. We are foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American chattel slavery, the children of freedmen. This culture is ours. This lineage is ours. These reparations, ours. And from here on out, we guard what we built. The late Paul Mooney, Louisiana native, he says, there are only two kinds of Black people in America today. You either running free or you running scared. How you running?
Sister Keisha, I want to bring to your attention, right there at New York University, a Senegalese United Nations rapporteur and scholar by the name of Doudou Diné, in 1995, 30 years ago, wrote a report saying that Africans and Caribbeans were the main threat, or one of the major threats to the advancement of Black Americans. And none other than that sexual predator by the name of Bill Clinton had this man run out of the United States. This is from the United Nations High Commission on Human Rights, concerned about our situation, said this 30 years ago. I've had people curse at me for quoting. They keep saying the UN. I said, right, well, they're the ones that sent the rapporteur. But you know what? I call it scam Africanism. We have a lot of cowards here that wear kente cloth and tie-dye. They're all sleeping with white people, or they're gay, or they're on some kind of drug or some kind of stupid religion, right? Leave the little chickens and shit alone, right? Okay. Leave the goats alone. I like goats too. These people believe in this fake ass Alex Haley roots. I keep telling people, you know this, Sister Keisha. Alex Haley was a government agent. He pimped out my family's lineage and other people's stuff. He didn't even write the book Roots. Other people put shit in. When he went on trial, he didn't even know how the shit got in there. Alex Haley's a fraud. Roots, as I tell everyone, was stolen from my cousin, the pioneer genealogist, Thelma Short Doswell. Alex Haley never gave his history. So they got Negroes looking backwards, wanting some rustic village and shit. We should want modernity. We should want what we have now, toilet and toilet paper and deodorant. I mean, modern inventions to a lot of people when they get here, shit. Like, there's more than one color of socks. It's not all white. I mean, just tell somebody, okay? There are other colors. It's black, blue, navy, argyle. It's not just white, right? This is a situation where these people are pointing to the past. They're always talking about Egypt. They're talking, what about all of the Black Wall Streets? Little Egypt, Wilmington, North Carolina, not just Tulsa, East St. Louis, all these Black communities, the cities that we built that they destroyed. Why not deal with here? These people are selling us a Philadelphia cheesesteak on the moon when they can't give us a piece of bubble gum on the street here. This is Pan-Africanists. They're either Marxists or they're Islamists. They're trying to push an agenda that is not cogent with our cultural history in this country. They're shamed. In fact, they're defeatists. They don't think, even if we're just 60 million people, that we can't make these racist devils give us our MFM. And you know what MFM stands for. Okay, mother effing money. That's another way of saying reparations. So in other words, we need to free everybody. We got to kick the Arabs out of North Africa. We got to get the people off the Canary Islands, and we got to get the whites out of South Africa. And if we help all the people in Africa, then they'll help us. Shit, they don't help us now. We already know it. The Pan-Africanists are liars. The Pan-Africanists are frauds. The Pan-Africanists can't even get unity in any given country in Africa. I wish they could. They can't. But in reality, we're the best model of Pan-Africanism because we come from 1,200 different African groups, hundreds of Native American groups. We're blended with people from South and Central America as well as Europe, and we're a unified Black people, more unified than anybody else. We're the essence of Pan-Africanism. I tell people I have a Stalinist view of Pan-Africanism. Before Stalin, Lenin and all these people wanted global communism. They're going to have communism everywhere. And Stalin says, no, make communism work in one place, and then you can take it somewhere else. We need to make our foundational Black American, ADOS, Freedmen, Pan-Africanism, and Aboriginalism work here for us, and let the other people catch our dust as we develop ourselves, instead of running and begging for somebody with no deodorant, with cowrie shells on the hat, that wants to kill a goat. Don't tell me about their future. Most of these people don't know anything about Africa or their history either. I'm saying this to you as a teacher, meeting Africans that don't know, have traveled less of Africa than I have. Don't even know you're African till you get to America, and don't want to admit to being Black except for when you want to get something. We don't need it.
That's it, brother. We gotta close it out. We gotta get up out of here. We definitely appreciate Dr. Randy Short giving us the what to, and all you tethers who've been out of pocket. You're going to continue to get this work, as he said.
Yeah, Tethergeddon is coming. You know what? Y'all may as well invest in some luggage because y'all asses got to go. You know, can I sing my song? Leaving on a nice plane, won't see your vulgar ass again. Leaving on a nice plane. So kiss me and smile for me. Go back to your shithole country. Cause you're leaving on a nice plane. Okay. Right? Won't see your illegal ass again. Leaving. Right?
Gotta go, brother. Gotta go.
Okay. Bye.
You, Dr. Short, always follow him on all your social media platforms. And if you would like to hear more from Dr. Short, he has written several books that you can now purchase on Amazon or Amazon.com. Sorry. And if you have Prime, you get that free shipping. So definitely purchase his work.
Angry Black Men's Book Club. And Sister Keisha, you know, they took down all my Cash Apps. You know, I've been raising hell with that punk ass dude that started, you know, DeRay McKesson, the one that looked like the chimpanzee from the, the Planet of the Apes Part 2 with the blue jacket on? You know, the one that messed up stuff in Ferguson. So, you know, they took all my Cash Apps. They're going to make my ass be broke. Since they can't shut you up, if they can't shut you up there, they'll make you broke or they'll shoot you. But anyway, just Angry Black Men's Book Club. And you know, and your feelings will get hurt if you're not correct. And by the way, I love everybody that loves us. Okay, right? And I can say to you, I've given tens of thousands of dollars to various people throughout the diaspora, and I'll keep doing it. So the Bible says where your heart is, so is the treasury. So I have love for people, but you can't fuck us in our home country. That shit's over. Right. It's done. Right. Tethergeddon's coming. Get some luggage. Start selling those homes And brothers, don't get married to anybody that's not a citizen for the next 120 days, because a lot of folk are gonna start. I mean, they're gonna rain sex. And sisters, please don't take the pipe. I know he's built like he's got a plantain, but it's not worth the poison plantain. Let him go home. Okay. Viagra's still on sale. You don't have to go that way. Okay.
All right, brother.
All right. I'll see y'all.
Family, please follow our brother Dr. Randy Shaw on all your social media platforms.
Okay, y'all. So I was on Thorough Black Talk, and I'm just trying to raise everybody's awareness to Tethergeddon. We're going to be doing shows on that. And by the way, I wouldn't tell anyone not to visit Ghana. I want people to go anywhere in the world. I encourage you, travel to Africa. Go. Look, this isn't a message to hate anybody. This is a message to be real. People are people. The reason that the transatlantic slave trade happens is because people in Africa had wars and fights and tensions. And some of our ancestors got screwed in the downstroke. I'm not saying hate anybody. I'm not saying I don't have African lineage. I like anybody I come from, even the damn slave masters. You can't undo your lineage. Travel to Africa, but go understanding African people. They're great ones, they're nice ones. In fact, the nicer Africans are in Africa. The ones that come here, the IMF, the ones that steal money and shit. Some of the Africans come here completely fucked up people. I said it, quote me. I don't care. I say it fearlessly. You meet regular Africans, they like the people here, but the people back in Africa have been robbed by the ones who come here. Okay, I'm not trying to put all Africans down. Love me some good African people. And that's how I've stayed in touch with people, 25 years, people have been and so forth. So I'm not trying to put hatred. I'm saying, love me and respect me and trust me. I'll love and respect you. If I come to your country, I'm going to honor and respect you. When you come here, honor and respect me. If we do that, we can make things work. The reason that this conversation is happening like it is now is because the love has been shitted on for a long time. And I could talk for hours about bad stuff that's happened to me and other people I know, but I don't want to focus on that as much as we Black Americans have been weak. We haven't loved and built up and respected and come to terms with who we are. And other people have taken advantage of us. It's sort of like being a drunkard in Mardi Gras. You have a whole bunch of money in your wallet and you're pissy drunk and you fall out. Someone may pick your pocket. That's what the tethers are doing. We've lost our way. We've got to come over that. And part of that is a God thing. We've become a wicked, foolish people. We've let the drugs, whatever wicked thing that the racists want to do to us, we don't resist. We have to restore our families, restore manhood, womanhood, childhood, do business with each other, respect each other, protect one another, reestablish a sense of commandment and covenant amongst ourselves. That's all I'm saying. And by the way, when you are respectable and upright, other people will respect you. But if you don't respect or like yourself, don't expect anyone else to like or respect you. That's all I want to do tonight. Maybe I'll do another talk later. Lots going on. Oh my God, but good news from the doctors. Now I got to figure out, I may have another issue, but it'll be all right. It's going to work. It's going to work. And I'm going to be doing some stuff with Black Alpha again. It's been kind of rough. We've had some setbacks with the mom on the front here. And I want to tell everybody, they trashed my Cash Apps, all of my Cash Apps. I had 3 of them. So they picked on me. I don't care. But they told me I was gambling. I was doing illegal stuff on Cash App. Never done. I've either given money to people or people have given me money. I've never, or paid a bill. I've never gambled. I never try to gamble. I'm too broke to gamble. So if you want to donate, if you can donate, the options are still, you can do Venmo, which is Dr. Randy Short, Patreon, which is Dr. Randy Short. You can do PayPal, which is W Randy Short. You can do Zelle, W Randy Short. But you can't use the Cash Apps. They'll tell you I'm not accepting. In reality, they don't want me to accept. And I've got to work on GoFundMe. Someone came and attacked the GoFundMe. So you'll find, and it's not like I get huge amounts of money. They really don't like, they don't like what we do, what we're talking about. I was on a Twitter space. And they forced us to have to come off the space because I was on it. I try. I'll be back. I miss everybody. Put out prayers for Sister Quiet Scales. There's a lot going on. Thank you, Sister Bryant. My PayPal star is my email, W Randy Short. Yep, but they absolutely tanked it. If I were to pull up my PayPal and show you, not PayPal, my Cash App, they'll say, you, you've been gambling. You've used the site. I don't gamble. I don't want to gamble. For me, gambling for me is buying books. My addiction is buying Black history books. By the way, I've got to, there is a book. If you guys have Amazon Audible, there's a free book on the Daughters of the Confederacy. It's a United Daughters of the, it's called the Dixie's Daughters. This is, I want to get me a copy of it, but I don't think it's for sale as a book. And by the way, the only thing I can do is buy a book. I'm going to put this on here. Everybody said prayer for Quiet Scales. She needs your prayers. I'm sorry, I didn't do that right. Let me take that down. Forgive me, I didn't type that right. I don't want you looking for the wrong thing and say, Dr. Short, I didn't find it. If you have Amazon Audible, you've got to check this thing out. And it shows how the white feminist Klanswomen have destroyed Black history and how white women laid the foundation for intellectual white supremacy. And so for all the folks who talk about allies, stop it, please. Okay, and also, I think if I don't have a situation with our air conditioner has been off and it's been kicking our behind, a lot of crazy things happen. You know, it's hot, the ice maker broke, the air conditioner stopped working, and it's been a trip keeping my mother cool. But we'll get there. We should get that fixed Saturday. I hope it doesn't interrupt Salt. I do have some stuff to talk about. And I want to let y'all know, Sunday, if you're in the D.C. area, Dr. Stella Emanuel and all the doctors that know about the fraud around the jab are going to be on the steps of the Supreme Court Sunday. I'm going to try to make that. I also want to bring to everybody's attention on Saturday, and I'm probably going to do an announcement on it. Sister Jag and I are going to be doing a show where she's going to break her silence on, you know, shitty trial. And that's going to be interesting. And thank you for praying again. Very good news. I'll say it to anyone. I believe that the CoQ10 guinea henweed tea, and the dandelion helped bring my PSA down by about 120 points. I'm not saying that's the only thing, but that's key. If you know people fighting with cancer, I look, once I get this a little bit more, I have a better idea. I also want to point out to people that this stuff is curable. For a person that's, at supposedly at a death stage, this is what 4 is supposed to mean. Hell, God's been good to me with stage 4. Prayer matters, love matters, peace matters. Be calm, be good to yourself, watch what you eat. Again, if for all those people who have donated and want to donate, all you got to do is do it in Patreon. You can do it in Zelle, which is my email, wrandyshort@gmail. My PayPal is wrandyshort@gmail. And of course, you can do Dr. Randy Short in Patreon, or you can do Dr. Randy Short in Venmo. But that will work. But yep, they attacked the Cash App and they hacked my bank card. There were 3 states where someone gave my number out. But that should work itself out. Thank God it's towards the end of the month. Love that welfare. We will be talking about Tethergeddon very, very soon. I'm not talking about 10 days from now. So let me let you guys go. I'll see y'all. Love and peace.